Good morning. It's another beautiful day on the farm in Indiana. And today, I start running over corn with the sprayer. Well, hopefully as little corn as possible. But first things first. Check out that sunrise. Well, it's a little after sunrise, but can't beat a view like that sometimes. Good on oil. Haven't been in this thing for a while. I miss this seat. Looks like I'm gonna need to wash windows again. I don't care how many times you wash them. Every time you get back in it, it seems like it's dirty. Everything I've sprayed up until this point, I've sprayed at about 10 gallons to the acre. So that requires one set of nozzles. But now with this corn, we are fighting a pretty hard flush of water hemp, which is our main weed that we always fight here in Indiana, or the Midwest, I think. So I am upping my gallonage on the corn, over the corn, to 15 gallon an acre, which means I have to jump up a nozzle size to my size 4 nozzles. That way I can stay in the, I don't know, somewhere in the 60-70 PSI range and get the gallons that I want. Only got to do this 97 times. First things first, when I'm loading the sprayer, the degree is very thick, as I have stated previously. And because we run a half a gallon per acre of that, I like to get that started first. So now that I got my AMS in the top, it's mixing up. I've got to put my incinerate in. Alright, now that incinerate's in, I can start putting the degree in. And then my last one will be the Roundup. You can read that. All right. Check my water level. Should be getting close. 800 gallons that's about as high as I want to be when I'm done with my chemicals. That gives me a good 200 gallons to flush out the whole system, make sure all the chemical is getting in the sprayer. We are ready to go once I get all of my new info put in the sprayer. But here, check this out. I got something for you guys that I'm not sure you've ever seen before in a sprayer. This little button right here, it's called Reclaim. We put it on through Precision Planting. So I flick that switch, and then once my pump is on, if I start spraying, you can see that according to the sprayer, it looks like my boom is spraying. But if you can see, I am not spraying at all. It's actually recycling everything from my boom back into the tank. So it allows me to charge my booms with the current chemical without ever having to spray any chemical on the ground. So one, I'm not wasting any chemical, and two, I'm being environmentally friendly because I'm not backing into a fence row like you always used to do and just spraying it out until your boom's charged. So very economical and very environmentally friendly. Definitely makes swapping chemicals and rinsing the boom out a lot nicer. Alright, about 100 gallons, 80 gallons pushed through the boom should be plenty. So now I've got to go in here, home field 1, that's where I'm starting. But I need to add my new, scroll down here to corn post. So I got to switch my rate to 15. And we should be ready to start spraying. Now that I'm in the field, last thing I've got to do before I start spraying is I've got to set up my row sense, which is part of my guidance. You can see above that light facing the corn is a camera. It sits right up over top my front right tire and actually detects the corn rows, keeps the sprayer right in between the row, makes it a lot more accurate when I'm driving, a lot less headache, keeps me centered, so I can minimize the amount of corn I run over. So let's get that set up real quick. Corn is so stressful. You got straight rows and you run an auto track, it's not at all, but running your end rows where there's constant turns and angles and twists, and you can't help but run over some corn, man, it's exhausting. But I got the border done. First one, I'll get used to it. It gets easier. But we're back onto auto track now. My row sense is running, keeping me in the center. Now all I got to do is keep an eye on my boom. Make sure all my nozzles are spraying, and obviously turn at the end. Well, this is the one downfall to spraying 15 gallons to the acre. It's been about 20 minutes since I started this field, maybe not even, and I'm already down to 50 gallons. So I'm going to be probably spending about 40% of my time today spraying, 60% of my time loading. But what do you do? I need the gallons per acre to help with the water hemp, so make it a little slower, but we're doing a better job. And I'm out. But spray trailer's right over there, so that worked out kind of nice. So give me about half an hour and I'll be back to spraying.
Hey man.
What's up?
Hey, there isn't a air chuck that goes from the little hose up to the big for the air impact, is there? It's just the little or the big to little you guys have.
No, you can.
Coupler,
No, you can only use that. You can only use that 1-inch impact on one of the North 2 reels.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys had an adapter. I just said never seen it before. I just wanted to check for it. I backed all in. I ran over a piece of cable on quad filter on the roadside, and it's wrapped up so tight I can't. I got to take the blades off the center stump jumper.
Okay. Sounds like he's having a good morning so far. Bring you guys along for a little bit while I border a field. Show you how stressful it really is. I'm a little luckier on this field. Corn's still a little smaller than some of the stuff I've been spraying. So maybe some of the stuff I run over will come back, but a lot of it won't. Got some cows. This is where I start running over corn. Up until that point, I was running with my rows, so wasn't doing much damage, but now as I go to border the waterway, I don't have any rows to follow, so it's just straight up running over corn. There's a fine line of trying to get the edge, get out to the edge of the corn, but not going far enough, you start killing your water break. The waterways I have to be really careful around are the ones that are in CRP, which is the Conservation Reserve Program, which is a buried the tip there, which is regulated by the government. So when you enroll a waterway into CRP, they will help you put it in and maintain it, do some cost share with you. But your part of that is there are regulations you have to follow, and one of those regulations is width. Most of them have to be, 40 feet. It all depends on the certain waterway. But you get into trouble as year after year, when I keep knocking it back and back, it keeps getting narrower and narrower. So I got to be really careful. Like this waterway right here is CRP. So I got to be really careful not to knock it back too far to where the waterway itself gets too narrow for the program. Because it's not fun if you do get too narrow. They'll actually make you come in, work the ground right next to it, and reseed grass to widen it up. And that's a headache that nobody wants to mess with. Is that to a certain degree, the boom, which is called boom track, will keep itself level. I don't have to worry about the whole up and down and sway of the boom. I've got I've got 5 radar sensors on the boom that when activated, it keeps it, right now I've got it set at 28 inches. So it'll keep the entire boom 28 inches off the ground. Which our old sprayer didn't have. So when we upgraded to this sprayer, that was a huge benefit for me. Took that whole stress of constantly burying the boom in the ground out. And just like that, tank number 4 is empty. But this one's different than the other 3 because so is my water trailer. I'm trying to do this driving thing one-handed. Another awesome thing about the sprayer, we can run 35 miles an hour. Man, I can't even stay in the sprayer long enough to get stiff. All right, well, finally back. I even managed to snag myself a thing of beef jerkies and a monster. Some would call that junk food. Call it lunch of champions. Time to get this sprayer loaded again. Enough screwing around. You know what? I'm tired of loading this the slow way. Let's do it the quick way. Much easier. Now I can get back to spraying that much faster. You know, one thing that blows my mind with spraying, so the main chemical, the incinerate that I am spraying, is the main chemical that kills water hemp, which is by far our toughest weed to kill right now. And you know what rate, you remember what rate I said I'm spraying that at? 3 ounces per acre. That's literally less than half a cup of chemical spread over 43,560 square feet. And it smokes it. I don't understand it. It just blows my mind to think about how little chemical I am spreading across an acre of that one chemical, and it's killing all of the broadleaves out here. Science for you right there. Science above my head, that's for sure. Uh-oh, am I gonna have enough? My last pass. Watch my pressure if it dips. So close. Are you kidding me? 100 yards, maybe. Not only that, but look. The road is over here. This is where I'm at. Never fails. Alright. She's loaded. Let's get back in the field. Well, that concludes my 8th and final tank today. Well, I thought it was a smooth day until I have some kind of hydraulic leak right here. We've had these O-rings. It's probably this one. We've had the O-rings blow out in the past. I don't know why. I don't know what causes it. But the more I look where I loaded earlier, I don't know if the camera will pick that up. You can see the shiny spot of oil. But it looks like it's been leaking for longer than I was hoping. So I'm going to start it back up, see if I can't pinpoint that leak. Yep. Same O-ring that's blown on me in the past. Alright, well, after a not so quick trip to the co-op and a trip back to the shed, back to the shop to get my O-rings and a few tools, we're here just in time for it to get dark on me. Right here when I pull this, if you want to stick your finger on it. Oh, yep, I don't know. Can you see that? Chunk taken out of the side of it. Seems like it was a simple fix. O-rings holding well. Got our oil back within range. So we are ready to rock and roll again tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Find that thumbs up button for me. Hit that like button. Helps us out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, see you in the next one.